welcome to Envision. I'm Deanne Conrad, and Dr. Brian Maher is our superintendent in the Sioux Falls School District. And one of the buzzwords of today seems a lot like community engagement. You always hear, whether we're talking about engaging students or engaging parents, community engagement as a whole. What does that mean? Yes, we want people to come into our building, know what we're doing, that type of thing. But in general, what is community engagement?
Well, it's a great question. Part of my definition would be it's one of the 4 areas of our strategic plan.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, really something that we want to make sure that as the public school district that we are doing what our public wants us to do. Mm-hmm. So we want to be engaged with the community in dialogue to not only provide information on what we are doing, and I think we're pretty darn good at that, thanks to you and the people in your department. And maybe to make sure that we continue to be good at that, what we want to really focus on through this community engagement piece is listening. And that's something that we really picked up on during the strategic planning process of this last year.
Right, so that is one of the 4 components of the strategic plan, community engagement, greater sense of shared responsibility, I guess, between all stakeholders in our community regarding public education. One particular area that we'll have an opportunity to engage the community in is discussion on what we do in terms of facilities for the future. We looked at those elementary grades and realized that we're going to need some more space.
Yeah, I think we have so many pieces of that listening conversation that we can really engage the community in. But maybe the one that really spells it out the best is looking at what do our facilities look like going forward. And we have what I like to term a delightful challenge right now, in that we know how many spaces, how many students we can have in our buildings right now before our buildings are at capacity. And one of those areas that's really easy to see is our high schools and our 4-grade enrollment at the high schools. We can right now educate in our buildings about 6,900 students. And if I look at those 4-grade enrollments all the way down to our earliest learners, our kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grades, that 4-grade enrollment, I see we have 8,000 students today. So when I take those 8,000 students and project them forward to high schoolers, I see our delightful challenge is we're 1,100 seats short.
Right.
So how do we figure out that the solution to that problem? And that's where I really think we need to engage our community and say, what does that look like? Do we add on to our existing facilities? Do we build another high school? Do we look more at specialty schools? Do we do more online learning and forget about brick and mortar? I think the number of potential answers is greater than one might really just look at. You might look at it and say, we need a new high school. And we may very well. But I want to make sure before we decide whatever that solution is, we've had a good deal of dialogue with our community to determine what solution this community wants. Because we are the public school.
Right. And what do you sense that engagement might look like? Is it open meetings? Is it conversations one-on-one? What do you sense that might entail?
I think it entails a good deal of education and a good deal of listening. And I see immediately 3 ways that will engage the community. 1 is through surveys. 2 is through focus groups and conversations in intimate settings. And 3 is in community-wide dialogue, where we have community meetings, much like we did with the strategic plan, where folks are invited to an event at a particular time, and we educate and we listen. And I think those are 3 forums. There may be many more, but those are 3 that come immediately to mind.
What do you sense as a timeline for that particular topic? Obviously, the community engagement as a whole is going to continue on a variety of different levels, but specific to the need for facilities, what do you expect to be the timeline?
Well, I think we're a little ways away yet from really formalizing the community dialogue. We've had a good deal of coverage through the press already, but I don't know that we're ready yet to go have that community dialogue. So I would say we're months away, maybe 2nd semester of this year or 1st semester of the following year. So maybe in the spring or in the fall of 2017, we begin to have those sessions and really get a gauge of what the community is looking for.
Right, so this is where you'd see to be continued on the bottom of the screen, right?
Without a doubt.
Well, that is one particular area, but there are many more opportunities for community engagement. It could mean attending a school board meeting. It could mean attending your PTA meetings or something along that line. So we want to encourage that kind of involvement as well.
That's a great point. You know, one of the things I'm talking about are those things that we do, that we will do in addition to all of the avenues we have right now for that engagement.
Yeah. So we encourage parents and community members to step forward, participate in their public schools so that you can be an engaged citizen and share that responsibility for educating our future. Thanks for joining us today on Envision.